Alright, so this is going to be an installation video for the Eonon GA9465B, the Android stereo for BMW, like E90s. I have an E92, so I saw a few videos for the installation, but nobody really goes over the wiring for the stereo, so you can see I already have it in. There are other people that have videos that will go step by step explaining how to get it out, but no one really goes into detail of how to wire everything in the back. I kind of got stuck there. So the first thing you want to do is, before you even order the stereo, go ahead and run your VIN number through like a website to check what audio system you have. And even after you do that, I would go ahead and take your factory radio out, just to kind of make sure of which one you have, because when I checked my VIN number, it said I had the hi-fi audio, but when I took it apart, I had the Logic 7 radio harness, and for that one you do need a decoder, and it's kind of annoying waiting for that to come after your radio has already come and you're without sound for a few days until that arrives. So go ahead and just take your radio out. It takes about 5 minutes, and I'll show you in a second what to look for when you go ahead and remove that before you order the stereo. So the first thing you do when you're installing this radio is you're gonna pry out your heat and air thing right here. It does come with a pry tool, this right here. So you're just gonna pry it out. It comes out. There's 3 plugs in the back that you unplug, and you set that to the side. When you take it out, but there are these 2 little brackets on each side that you're gonna have to either cut off or shave off. So I can't really show you that right now because I already have it pressed into the bracket in the back, and I really don't want to take it out. But there are these 2 little they're in the shape of a T, and basically what you want to do is cut off the sides of the T so that that little piece right here looks like basically an L, and that's what you're gonna slide into the bracket. So that's all you do with that. And then let me go ahead and take this apart to show you what it looks like on the inside. Alright, so after you get this part out, the heating and air conditioner unit, your radio is still gonna be in. You have to undo a few screws. I believe there's 4 or 6. And then there are going to be 2 at the bottom. Don't forget those 2 at the bottom, because you need to take those out in order to take the factory bracket out. I have it over there. So that all comes out. What you're going to want to do next is this bracket right here. It's supposed to be connected to the stereo. I lost the 2 pieces that connects them together, but it's no big deal. Connect the new bracket to the radio before you even install it. It just clicks into place. It's just easier to have it on here already before you put it in. It just makes things a lot smoother. So the next thing I would suggest is plug in everything that came with the new head unit before you plug it in. So let me go over what comes with it right now. You get this one right here. You're gonna want to plug that in. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that go in the back right here. You get 1 antenna cord right here, and then you get a GPS cord and a Wi-Fi cord. If you got the free gifts that come with it, mine came with a rear view camera and a dash cam. Go ahead and plug the rear view camera cord into the one that's on the radio. So these 2 are connected. Let's see, you have an Apple Play cord and a USB cord that you're also going to want to have plugged in. Before you put this in or connect it to anything, make sure you run those lines through the back of here, and I just have them coming out of the side down here. It's super easy. You can just pull this back and you'll be able to reach your hand up there. I'm sitting down, so I really can't show you that well, but you can see the cord coming out right there. I also have my LED lights running through there as well. So just make sure you run those cords through. It goes down here. If you lift this back, you can kind of see where the light's shining through a little bit. So that's super easy. I just suggest you do that before you plug anything from the factory stereo cords into the head unit, because things get a little tighter after you do that. So the only two things that are factory that you have to plug into this head unit is the main plug right here. It just comes off like that. You lift it up and pull it backwards. You just plug those two together. And then the other thing is going to be this antenna right here. Those are the only two cords you have to connect that are already connected to the car, your old cords, to the new head unit. Everything else is connecting the head unit itself. Mine looks a little different because I do have the decoder, but I'll go over that later. If you don't need the decoder, all you're going to do is plug these two together. This one from the head unit to the one already in your car. And then this is connected to the factory radio antenna right here. Those are the only two things from the car to the new head unit that you have to worry about connecting. So the next two things you really want to make sure are connected are these two small blue cords. They have AmpCon labels on them. Try to focus it on that. So AmpCon. You're going to want to make sure these two are connected. There's a bigger head and a smaller head. You just want to make sure the small one is inside the big one. Slide those rubber sleeves over it and you'll be good to go. There also is a blue ant and a green ant. One comes from the antenna that I just showed you. This thing right here. And the other one is running to one of these cords back here, the white one. So you want to make sure amp and amp are connected and ants are connected. So that is all you need to connect if you don't have Logic 7 and need the decoder. I'll go over that in just a second. I know it all looks confusing, but that's all you need to connect for your radio to work. So I have my Wi-Fi and GPS tucked back there. I didn't run it anywhere special in the car. I saw other people say that they just had it pushed back there and it worked fine, and mine does work fine, just pushed behind there. So that's all you need to worry about connecting. And then the next part would be to push all the cords back carefully, just to make sure nothing comes out of place. So you guys will have this bracket, like I said, this one right here. It'll be on connected to this with those two clips. Then after you push all these cords back, just line it up. There are two screws, one down here and one down here. They don't give you these two screws. They're the factory screws that you took out from the other harness. Just go ahead and screw those in, just so you can keep everything in place, kind of get a visual of what it looks like. And then you're going to go ahead and connect your battery again and put your key in just to make sure that the sound is working. So I'll show you in a second, but sometimes there's a setting in the EQ on the new stereo that says external amp. You want to make sure that's on. If you don't need the decoder, you want to make sure that's on if your sound isn't coming out. And I'll show you that once I put everything back in place. So if you check the head unit and everything's working, the sound and everything, you're going to want to go ahead and push everything to where you want it. The screws that they give you are too short. You are not going to be able to screw those screws in. Luckily, I found two longer screws that I had like around the house that are basically the same as the ones that came with the radio. They're kind of different if you can tell. Let me try to focus it. But those two screws they give you are not going to fit. So go ahead and find you two screws, run to Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever. Get you two screws that are a little bit longer than the ones they gave you, because those are not going to fit and you're just going to get frustrated. So after you have the radio screwed in, the screws go right here and right here. Then you want to go ahead and get the two plugs for this unit. You're not going to have the seat warmer function anymore. That's on the new head unit. So I know I said you had three cords before. Now you only have two because you don't have the seat warmer unit anymore. Go ahead and plug those plugs into the back of here. Now we're just pretending that this stereo is already installed. I'll show you in 1 second. Once you have the plugs plugged in for this heating system right here, you're gonna go ahead and push it into place. There are these two brackets on each side that have a space in the middle for that L-shaped plastic to go, and it's gonna click into place. So after that, it comes with this little covering that goes around the edges. You stick that on last after everything is in place already. So if you don't need the decoder, that's all you have to do. Now I'm just gonna go over what to do if you do have the decoder. It's super easy, almost the same steps. You just have to plug in a few extra things. So this is the decoder right here. If you need the decoder, what you're gonna notice is that on your factory harness, all you have are these. Let me see. I believe there are 6 wires, 5 or 6. Including these that I have in the decoder already. These black and green wires right here. Those are all the wires you're gonna have. You don't need the decoder if you have these 8 speaker wires right here. But if you do not have these 8 speaker wires, you're gonna have to order the decoder. Now, if you realize after you ordered the stereo that you need the decoder, do not order it from Eonon. Go ahead on Amazon and order it from Amazon. It is a few extra dollars. Not anything that makes too much of a difference. It's like a $5 difference. But it's going to come way sooner with Amazon versus it would with Eonon. I ordered it from Amazon and I have Prime and it came in a day. So just go ahead and do that because it's really annoying to have the new head unit in here but no sound. But these black and green wires right here are actually going to be plugged into this right here. What you're going to want to do, there's a tab right here. Pry it up and go ahead and pull these 2 cords out because you're going to want to stick it into the decoder right here. This piece comes out, you stick it into this little plastic piece right here before you put it into the decoder. And then once it's in the black plastic, you go ahead and stick it back into the decoder. These wires right here, you're going to connect to these. You see, they correspond with each other. This is already connected to the harness you got when you got the head unit. So just go ahead and connect these 2. And then the decoder also comes with these red and white aux cables. What you're going to want to do is find the white rear out. It's gonna say, let me try to, okay, so it's gonna say rear out L. Let me see if I can get that. Not really, but it's gonna say rear out L. You're gonna connect that to the white aux that comes with the decoder. The red aux that comes with the decoder, you're gonna connect that to front out R. A lot of people complain that you lose some of the quality because these 2 plugs aren't plugged in, the rear out and the front out, left and right. If you prefer to have these plugged in, you can order a splitter off of Amazon. I don't notice the difference. After I got the decoder, my radio started working. The quality is really good. But if you prefer to have these plugged in, go ahead and get that splitter. So let me go ahead and put the unit in, and I'll show you that setting I was talking about before. Alright, so now I have the head unit in. The screws go here and here. Make sure you get those longer screws, like I said, because the ones they give you with the new head unit, they do not work. I have my old radio over there. So this is what it's gonna look like. Yeah, the system down here, it does protrude a little bit. It doesn't bother me. I cleaned the edges off really well, so that's not really an issue. It doesn't really bother me. It still looks really nice. I can still open the ashtray or whatever you want to call this. Yeah, you can't really notice the edges, but this is what it's gonna look like. If that's gonna bother you, then yeah, I really don't know what to tell you, but that's how it's gonna be. Alright, so that's how it's gonna look installed. Let me find my keys and I'll show you that setting I was talking about. So I'm gonna leave this clip in just so you guys can see how long it takes to boot up every time you turn on the car. It does do this every time you turn on the car, so just be mindful of that. It only takes about 30 seconds, and during that time I'm just waiting for my car to idle down anyway. Alright, so this is what it looks like when you turn it on. If you wanted the unit for Apple CarPlay, I'll go over that in 1 second, but let me just show you where that equalizer setting is if you don't need the decoder and your sound still isn't working. On this screen right here, you're going to go to EQ. You're going to go to balance. And then you want to make sure this setting right here, sorry, the light's kind of shining on the unit, but it says X amp. You want to make sure this is on, because if it's not on, it's not going to work. Something else to show you guys, if you got the dash cam, that's what it looks like. I already installed it. Remember, I told you I have it running through there. I can go over that later if you want. You are going to have to go to APK installer to get the app for the DVR. It says it on the paper they give you with the dash cam. But this is what it looks like. Pretty good quality. You do need a micro SD card to plug in, but once I get that, everything should be straight, and it looks pretty good. I have Netflix and YouTube, and I already connected it. I do have to connect it to my hotspot every time if I want to use those, but I'm mostly going to use Apple CarPlay. I have that cord running through here. Remember, I told you all the cords you're going to use, you're going to want to run them through before you even connect anything from the car to the head unit. But I have it running through here, under here, and this is where I got the cord. I went ahead and got a genuine Apple charger from Target. They're just $20 just to make sure it's no problems, but I'm pretty sure any charger you have will work. I just needed a new one, and I went with the genuine Apple charger just for better quality or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what Apple CarPlay looks like, but let me go home. This is what the Bluetooth setting looks like. You're gonna go to music. If you're playing your music, I had an issue with my my music. It kept pausing, but once I come here and I just press play, usually it's fine. So let me go ahead and play something for you guys. So you can't really tell with the quality, because it's gonna depend on whatever device you're listening through, obviously. But I do not notice a difference from factory. When you're using Bluetooth, obviously the picture isn't gonna pop up right here. But yeah, I can control the sound from my phone or the unit. Alright, it gets pretty loud. That's how I like my music, so I have no complaints there. Let me go ahead and show you what Apple CarPlay looks like. Alright, so I just paused the music for 1 second, but once you plug in your phone, CarPlay is gonna automatically pop up. If you want to go back home, just press the home button and it's gonna take you here. To get back, you just click on phone link, and there's your Apple CarPlay. Sorry if the light's reflecting off of the screen, but these are the apps that I have so far. I have Google Maps, Spotify. I know you can put Waze, Messages, the maps that are already on your iPhone. music, podcast, everything else. Now I'm playing, whatever. So let me go to Spotify. This is what I'm gonna probably use most. You do have a Spotify app on the actual radio, but I do have to have my hotspot turned on and connected to the unit, and that's just gonna be a pain. So I'd rather just plug in my phone and use Apple CarPlay. That's really why I got the unit to begin with, plus the Netflix and everything. There are a few settings you can change. You can have it automatic or always dark. You can change the wallpaper to these. There's the Netflix and the YouTube. To me, they're kind of fidgety, like when you start it up. But once you have it up and loaded, it is going to take a few minutes. But once you have it up and loaded, it's really good. You can download other apps from the Play Store. You just got to log in. I don't really like using the Android portion of this unit. And I've only had it a couple days, so I can't give an actual review on that. But what I've noticed so far is it's really slow, the Play Store and everything. Just because it's connected to my hotspot. So I just prefer to use CarPlay. The only time I probably use this is when I'm using Netflix and YouTube. And that's really it. Maps and everything. Spotify I'll just use from my phone. But yeah, they do give you 2 covers to go on these holes. I just lost them. And I scratched them up pretty bad. You can kind of tell I kind of scratched these holes up from taking the unit out so many times. Hopefully this is my last time taking it out. I just wanted to show you guys for the video. But do not put those holes in until your sound is on and everything's 100% and you do not want to take this out anymore. If you plan on putting the splitter in or whatever, just set them to the side or in your glove box for now, because they're really hard to get out. And then you're going to scratch this, and I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'll just go over it with some black marker, but it's just scratched plastic, and I don't like the way it looks, but whatever. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to make this video to kind of show you guys the wiring. If you like research everything 100 times before you buy it, it is like $250. So you want to make sure everything's gonna be 100%. It's really easy. You just have to make sure you have everything plugged in the right way and that you have the decoder if you need it. Hopefully this video eases your nerves a little bit. I don't have like too good of an understanding of cars. I mean, like I modify my car a little bit, but my knowledge about it is minimal right now. So hopefully this is able to help you, at least with the wiring part of the installation. I know I didn't show the actual breakdown and putting it in and everything, but hopefully this was able to make it a little easier to understand what you plug in. I know it looks like a lot, but really just plug everything into the new head unit. Plug those 2 wires from the factory unit that are back there into the new unit, and then make sure those 2 blue amp cords and the 2 ant cords are connected, and you should be good to go. If you have the decoder, make sure you have everything plugged in the way I showed you, and you should be good to go. But this is just kind of my Eonon e90 installation for dummies, because no one really goes into detail. They just say it's plug and play, and in a way it is just plug and play, but there is more that goes into it. People make it look way simpler than it is. Just don't get overwhelmed with the amount of cords that are back there. Yeah, I hope this video was able to help you guys out. The reason I keep saying the sound quality is good is because I was using an aux cord before, and that sound quality was not the best. So yeah, this is an upgrade from the aux cord if you're using the aux cord. This right here is just my LED lights that I have under here. I have them on blue right now. I can make a video on that if you guys want. Sorry. And how to run that through your E90. I have it in the cigarette lighter option, because the other option you have to connect it to some stuff, and that's just too complicated for me. So yeah, I have the Opt 7 LED lights. There's 2 in the back, 2 in the front. I can make a video about. I just have it running through up under here, and then one coming out that way, one coming out that way, and then that box right here, I just have it Gorilla Glued to the side, but that's separate. That's a separate video in and of itself. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I just wanted to say really quick, I'll put a list of the steps below. I'm sorry if it's not like the most professional thing ever, but it's just simple steps. Just a general things to look out for. I have it right here on my phone. I'll try to put it in the description of the video so you guys can double check and triple check and just make sure you have everything connected if you're having any sound issues. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching.